The vast emptiness of space was filled with countless stars and alien worlds. Among these, Earth seemed small and unimportant. The powerful alien races of the galaxy looked down on humans. They thought humans were weak and bad at fighting wars. For thousands of years, these aliens had watched Earth from far away. They saw humans fight each other in small wars, but they never saw humans go to space to fight. This made the aliens think humans were scared of space battles. One alien race, the Zorthak, was known for their love of war. They had big, tough bodies and sharp claws. The Zorthak couldn't understand why humans spent so much time talking about peace. Peace is for the weak, they would say. Another alien race, the Quilnar, were very smart. They had big brains and could do math really fast. The Quilnar thought humans were too emotional. Humans let their feelings control them, they said. This makes them bad soldiers. The Vexari were a race that could change their shape. They could look like anything they wanted. The Vexari laughed at how humans all looked the same. They can't even change their bodies, the Vexari would joke. How can they adapt in war? All these alien races shared their ideas about humans. Soon, everyone in the galaxy thought humans were terrible at war. They called Earth a harmless planet and didn't think much about it. One day, a group of alien leaders met on a big space station. They were talking about which planets to take over next. An old alien named Groznak spoke up. "What about Earth?" he asked. The room went quiet. Then everyone started to laugh. "Earth?" a Zorthak warrior said. "Why would we bother with those weaklings?" A Quilnar scientist added, "Humans are not worth our time. They would surrender as soon as they saw our ships." But Groznak didn't laugh. He looked serious. "I have studied Earth for many years," he said. "I think we are all wrong about humans." The other aliens stopped laughing and looked at Groznak. He was very old and respected. When he talked, others listened. Groznak continued, "Humans may not fight in space, but they are always fighting on their planet. They have more experience with war than any of us." A Vexari shapeshifter spoke up, "But their wars are small and primitive. They fight with simple weapons." Groznak shook his head. "That's what makes them dangerous. Humans can fight with anything. They don't need fancy weapons. And they never give up, even when they're losing." The room was quiet again. The aliens were thinking about what Groznak said. But then a young Zorthak jumped up. "You're just an old fool," he shouted. "I'll prove humans are weak. Give me a fleet of ships, and I'll conquer Earth myself." The other aliens cheered. They liked this idea. It would be fun to watch humans get beaten easily. They all agreed to send a fleet to Earth. As the meeting ended, Groznak walked out slowly. He looked worried. "You're making a big mistake," he said softly. But no one was listening. In the weeks that followed, news spread across the galaxy. A huge fleet of alien ships was heading to Earth. Everyone was excited to see how quickly humans would surrender. On Earth, people were going about their normal lives. They didn't know that aliens were real. They didn't know a fleet was coming to attack them. They didn't know that the whole galaxy thought they were terrible at war. But soon, everything would change. The humans were about to show the galaxy how wrong it was. The aliens were about to learn a hard lesson. Never underestimate humans, especially in war. As the alien fleet got closer to Earth, Groznak watched from his home. He knew something big was about to happen. He just hoped the galaxy was ready for it. The alien fleet appeared in Earth's sky on a sunny Tuesday morning. Huge ships, bigger than cities, blocked out the sun. People all over the world looked up in shock and fear. This was not a movie. This was real. At first, there was chaos. People ran in the streets. Cars crashed. Phones stopped working. The aliens had jammed all signals. They wanted to scare the humans before attacking. In Washington, D.C., the President of the United States called an emergency meeting. Leaders from all countries joined by video call. They had to decide what to do. "We must surrender," said one leader. "Look at the size of those ships. We can't fight that." But the president shook her head. "No," she said firmly. "We will not give up our planet without a fight." Meanwhile, the alien commander, Zaxlor, was feeling very confident. He was a young Zorthak, eager to prove himself. He looked at Earth through his ship's window and laughed. "Look at them running around like ants," Zaxlor said to his crew. "This will be the easiest conquest in history." Zaxlor decided to make things interesting. He sent a message to all of Earth's screens. TVs, computers, even billboards. His ugly alien face appeared everywhere. "People of Earth," Zaxlor growled, "we are here to take your planet. Surrender now, and we might let some of you live as our slaves." The message played over and over. But instead of surrendering, something unexpected happened. Humans got angry. In New York, a group of construction workers climbed to the top of a skyscraper. They hung a huge sign that said, "Earth is our home. Come and take it." In Tokyo, people gathered in the streets. They sang their national anthem so loud the aliens could hear it in space. In a small village in Africa, old women started sharpening their cooking knives. They were ready to fight with whatever they had. Zaxlor was confused. This was not how it was supposed to go. He turned to his advisor. "Why aren't they surrendering? Don't they know we can destroy them?" The advisor looked worried. "Sir, I think we may have made a mistake. These humans, they're not acting like we expected." Angry and embarrassed, Zaxlor decided to attack. He sent his ships to the biggest cities first: New York, London, Beijing, Moscow. The alien ships fired their powerful weapons. But Earth was not defenseless. Hidden missiles shot up from the ground. Fighter jets appeared from secret bases. The humans had been preparing for this day for years. The first alien ship exploded over New York. The boom was so loud it broke windows for miles. Cheers erupted from the streets below. In London, a clever hacker managed to take control of an alien ship. She made it crash into the River Thames. The splash was so big it soaked people on the bridges. Beijing used a new kind of weapon. It sent out a pulse that made alien technology stop working. 3 big ships fell from the sky like rocks. Moscow's defense was simple but effective. They used old radio waves to confuse the alien ship's computers. The ships started crashing into each other. Zaxlor couldn't believe what he was seeing. How could this be happening? These were supposed to be weak, peaceful humans. He grabbed his communication device. "All ships, retreat," he yelled. "Get back to space now." But it was too late for many of his ships. The humans had done a lot of damage. As the alien fleet tried to escape, they left behind burning ships and confused alien soldiers. On the ground, humans were celebrating. They had won the first battle, but they knew this was just the beginning. The President of the United States made another call to world leaders. "We've shown them we can fight," she said. "Now we need to work together to win this war." As night fell on Earth, the mood was different than in the morning. There was still fear, but now there was also hope. The humans had proven something to themselves and to the galaxy. They were not terrible at war. In fact, they were pretty good at it, and they were just getting started. The days after the first attack were busy on Earth. People everywhere were getting ready for more fights. Soldiers trained hard. Scientists worked day and night. Regular folks learned new skills to help. In a secret lab under the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Emily Chen was working on something big. She had studied the alien technology from the crashed ships. Now she was making a new weapon. "This might change everything," Dr. Chen told her team. She held up a small, shiny box. "It can shut down alien shields. We just need to test it." Meanwhile, in the African savannah, an old Maasai warrior named Kibeki was teaching young people. But he wasn't teaching them about cows or lions. He was teaching them how to fight aliens. "Our ancestors fought with spears," Kibeki said. "We will fight with their wisdom and new weapons. The young people listened closely, holding their strange new guns. Under the oceans, submarines from many countries worked together. They were building underwater bases where humans could hide and fight back. Captain Maria Rodriguez led this project. "The aliens don't know much about our oceans," she said. "This will be our secret weapon." Up in space, things were not going well for the aliens. Zaxlor, the young commander, was in big trouble. His bosses were very angry about losing the first battle. "You said it would be easy." An old Zorthak leader yelled at Zaxlor. "Now the other alien races are laughing at us. Fix this, or we'll find someone who can." Zaxlor was scared, but also angry. He decided to do something big and dangerous. He called all his best soldiers for a special mission. "We're going to kidnap their leaders," Zaxlor told his troops. "Without leaders, the humans will be lost. Then we'll win easily." Back on Earth, humans were using one of their best skills: learning from the past. In libraries and museums, people studied old wars and battles. At the British Museum, historian Dr. James Wong was excited. "Look at this," he said, pointing to an old book. "It's about guerrilla warfare. This is exactly what we need against the aliens." All around the world, people were finding ways to use simple things as weapons. In Brazil, farmers loaded their crop dusting planes with chemicals that could melt alien metal. In India, tech workers wrote computer viruses that could confuse alien systems. They named their best virus Spicy Curry as a joke. Even kids were helping. In a small town in Canada, a group of teenagers figured out how to use video game controllers to fly real drones. They practiced by chasing each other around town. But the aliens were getting ready too. They were learning from their mistakes. Zaxlor ordered his soldiers to study human movies and books about war. "Know your enemy," Zaxlor said, quoting an old human saying. He didn't realize that humans were much better at war in real life than in movies. As both sides got ready, there was a strange quiet. It was like the whole world was holding its breath, waiting for the next big fight. Then, one night, it happened. Alien ships appeared over major cities again. But this time, they were quieter and sneakier. They had a plan. In Washington, D.C., Paris, Beijing, and other capitals, alien soldiers suddenly appeared inside government buildings. They were trying to capture world leaders. But humans were ready. Hidden security teams jumped into action. In Washington, the president herself fought off an alien with a fire extinguisher. In Paris, the alien soldiers got lost in the long hallways of the old buildings. French police caught them easily. The biggest surprise was in Beijing. The Chinese leaders weren't even there. They had expected this attack and set a trap. The aliens walked right into it. As the sun rose the next day, Earth had won again. They had protected their leaders and caught many alien soldiers. Zaxlor was shocked. How could his perfect plan fail? He didn't know that humans had been preparing for this kind of attack for years, thanks to their action movies. On Earth, people celebrated again. But they knew the war was far from over. The aliens would be back, and next time, they would be even angrier. The war had been going on for months now. Both sides were tired, but neither would give up. The aliens kept attacking, and humans kept fighting back. It was time for something big to happen. On the alien mothership, Zaxlor was desperate. He had lost many battles, and his bosses were very angry. He decided to do something crazy. "We will use our biggest weapon," Zaxlor told his soldiers, "the planet cracker bomb. It will break Earth in half." His soldiers looked scared. "But sir," one said, "that might kill everyone, even us." Zaxlor didn't care. He was too angry to think straight. "Get it ready," he ordered. On Earth, humans didn't know about the planet cracker bomb. But they were planning something big too. In a hidden base under the Atlantic Ocean, leaders from all countries met. The U.S. president spoke first. "We've been reacting to their attacks for too long. It's time we take the fight to them." A young scientist named Lai Wei stood up. She looked nervous but excited. "We've finished the space fleet," she said. "It's not as big as theirs, but it's faster and smarter." Everyone in the room cheered. Humans were ready to fight in space. As both sides got ready for the big battle, something unexpected happened. A group of alien scientists on Zaxlor's ship decided to help humans. These aliens didn't like war. They thought Zaxlor was being stupid and dangerous, so they sent a secret message to Earth, warning about the planet Cracker Bomb. When human leaders got this message, they knew they had to act fast. They decided to launch their space fleet early. On a cloudy night, hidden bases all over Earth opened up. Sleek, shiny spaceships flew out. They looked small compared to the alien ships, but they were powerful. Captain Aisha Kazmi led the human fleet. She was a pilot from Pakistan who had never lost a fight. "Remember your training," she told her pilots. "We're fighting for everyone back home." The human ships flew towards the alien mothership. Zaxlor saw them coming and laughed. "Look at their tiny ships," he said. "This will be easy." But he was wrong. The human ships were very fast. They zipped around the big alien ships, firing quick shots. It was like a group of bees attacking a bear. Zaxlor got angry. "Use the planet Cracker Bomb," he yelled. A huge weapon came out of his ship, pointing at Earth. This was the moment Captain Kazmi was waiting for. "Now," she shouted to her team. Suddenly, the human ships joined together. They formed one big ship, just like in old Japanese cartoons. This surprised the aliens so much, they stopped fighting for a moment. The joined human ship flew straight at the planet Cracker Bomb. It was going so fast, it looked like a streak of light. "Stop them," Zaxlor screamed. But it was too late. The human ship hit the planet Cracker Bomb just as it was about to fire. There was a huge explosion. It was so bright, people on Earth could see it like a new star. When the light faded, the alien mothership was destroyed. The planet Cracker Bomb was gone. And in the middle of it all, the human ship was still there, a little banged up, but okay. Cheers erupted from every radio on Earth. They had done it. The biggest alien weapon was destroyed, and the human fleet had won the battle in space. The remaining alien ships started to run away. They couldn't believe they had been beaten by the humans they thought were so weak. As Captain Kazmi flew her ship back to Earth, she smiled. "Let's go home," she said to her team. "I think the whole world will want to hear about this." On Earth, people danced in the streets. They had won the biggest battle yet. For the first time since the war started, everyone felt sure that humans would win. But far away, on a distant alien planet, the Zorthak leaders were making new plans. The war wasn't over yet. It was just changing. News of the humans' big victory spread fast across the galaxy. Alien races that had laughed at Earth before were now watching closely. Some were scared, others were impressed. On the Quilnar homeworld, a planet full of super-smart aliens, there was a big meeting. The Quilnar had always thought they were the smartest in the galaxy. Now they weren't so sure. "These humans," said the Quilnar leader, his big brain pulsing, "they think in ways we don't understand. It makes them dangerous." Another Quilnar spoke up. "Maybe we should talk to them instead of fight them." This idea spread to other alien races. The Vexari, who could change shapes, sent secret spies to Earth. They wanted to learn more about humans. One Vexari spy, named Slob, was in New York City. He looked like a normal human as he walked down the street. But he was confused. Slob saw humans laughing and playing in parks. He saw them helping old people cross the street. He even saw them being kind to small furry animals. How can these gentle creatures be so good at war? Slob wondered. Meanwhile, humans were busy making Earth stronger. They knew the aliens might come back. In Japan, engineers were building huge robots to fight alien ships. In Brazil, scientists found a way to use the Amazon rainforest to hide whole cities. In Egypt, the pyramids turned out to be ancient alien defense systems, and people were learning how to use them. But the most interesting thing was happening in a small lab in India. Dr. Amita Patel, a young scientist, made an amazing discovery. "I did it," she shouted one day, jumping up and down. "I can understand alien languages." Dr. Patel's invention was a small earpiece. When someone wore it, they could understand any alien language. This changed everything. World leaders decided to try something new. Instead of just preparing for more war, they would try to talk to the aliens. They sent a message to space using Dr. Patel's new language tool. The message said, "We want peace, but we're not afraid to fight. Let's talk." In a far corner of the galaxy, the alien leaders got this message. They were surprised. They had thought humans only knew how to fight. The Zorthak were still angry about losing. "Don't listen to them," they shouted. "It's a trick." But other alien races were curious. The Quilner especially wanted to learn more about human science. After much arguing, the aliens agreed to send a group to Earth to talk. They chose representatives from each major alien race. On Earth, everyone was excited and nervous. How do you welcome aliens you've been fighting? What do you serve at an alien-human dinner party? The day of the alien visit came. Spaceships appeared in the sky over New York City, but this time they came in peace. The alien representatives stepped out onto the lawn of the United Nations building. Humans from all over the world watched on TV. There was Zix, the Zorthak warrior, looking tough but a little scared. Cordy, the Quilner scientist, whose big brain wobbled as he walked. And Morph, the Vexari shapeshifter, who kept changing colors because he was nervous. The President of the United Nations stepped forward. She was wearing one of Dr. Patel's translation earpieces. "Welcome to Earth," she said, smiling. To everyone's surprise, the aliens understood her perfectly. Cordy the Quilnar spoke first. "We have misjudged you, humans," he said. "You are not what we thought." Zix the Zorthak growled. "You fight well. We respect that." Morph the Vexari simply said, "You are interesting. We want to learn more." As humans and aliens began to talk, people all over Earth watched in amazement. This was a new beginning. The war wasn't over, but things were changing. In homes, schools, and offices, humans started to realize something important. They weren't terrible at war. In fact, they were so good at it that they had brought powerful aliens to the peace table. The galaxy was never going to be the same again. And it was all because humans had surprised everyone, including themselves. The peace talks between humans and aliens lasted for weeks. Every day, people all over Earth watched their TVs, hoping for good news. In New York, the streets around the United Nations building were full of excited crowds. Inside the building, things were not easy. Humans and aliens had to learn how to talk to each other. Sometimes, they got angry. Other times, they laughed at funny misunderstandings. Dr. Amita Patel's translation device helped a lot, but it couldn't translate everything. For example, when the Zorthak diplomat burped, it meant thank you in his language. Humans had to learn not to say excuse you every time. The Quilnar were very interested in human music. They had never heard anything like it before. One day, a human diplomat played some jazz for them. The Quilnar's big brains almost exploded with excitement. "This is mathematics, but for the ears," one Quilnar shouted. After that, they requested jazz music at every meeting. The Vexari shapeshifters had a hard time in the talks. They kept changing shape because they were nervous. Sometimes they looked like chairs or lamps by accident. Humans had to be careful not to sit on them. As the talks went on, both sides learned more about each other. Humans found out that aliens had problems too. Some alien races were poor. Others were lonely because they had no one to talk to in the big galaxy. Aliens learned that humans were not just good at fighting. They were also kind, creative, and very adaptable. This made some aliens nervous, but it made others want to be friends with humans. One day, a young human diplomat named Louis had an idea. "Why don't we show the aliens more of Earth?" he suggested. "Not just meeting rooms, but real places." The world leaders thought this was a great idea. They decided to take the aliens on a tour of Earth. The tour started in the Amazon rainforest. The aliens were amazed by all the plants and animals. The Zorthak, who came from a desert planet, couldn't believe so much water could exist in one place. Next, they visited the Great Wall of China. The Quilnar were impressed by this old human technology. They asked many questions about how it was built without computers. In Egypt, something funny happened. When they saw the pyramids, the Vexeri got very excited. "We built those," they said. Humans were shocked. It turned out the Vexeri had visited Earth thousands of years ago and helped build the pyramids for fun. The last stop was a small village in Africa. Here, the aliens saw how most humans lived. They watched children playing, adults working, and old people telling stories. This simple life touched the aliens' hearts. At the end of the tour, something amazing happened. Zix, the tough Zorthak warrior who had always wanted to fight, sat down with a group of human children. The children taught him how to play a clapping game. Soon, Zix was laughing and playing like a kid. Qwerty, the Quilnar scientist, spent hours talking with a human artist. They found out that science and art were not so different. Both needed creativity and new ways of thinking. Morph, the Vexeri shapeshifter, finally relaxed. He stopped changing shape all the time. "On Earth," he said, "I feel like I can just be myself." As the tour ended, both humans and aliens felt different. They weren't enemies anymore. They weren't even strangers. They were becoming friends. Back at the United Nations, the peace talks started again. But now, everything was easier. Aliens and humans understood each other better. They started making plans not just for peace, but for working together. People on Earth celebrated. The war was really over. A new age was beginning, an age where humans and aliens would explore the galaxy together. As night fell on the last day of talks, fireworks lit up the sky all over the world. Humans looked up and saw their new alien friends watching in wonder. The future looked bright, and it was full of stars. 5 years had passed since the big peace talks. Earth was a very different place now. Humans and aliens lived and worked together all over the planet. The sky was full of spaceships coming and going. It was an exciting time to be alive. In New York City, a young girl named Zora walked to school. Next to her was her best friend, Blurp, a small blue alien from a planet far away. They laughed and talked about their homework. "I still don't understand Earth math," Blurp said, his antenna wiggling in confusion. Zora giggled. "That's okay. You can help me with alien biology later." Their school was special. It was the first human-alien friendship academy. Students from Earth and all over the galaxy learned together. In music class, humans played guitars while Zorthak students used their chest plates as drums. It was noisy but fun. Meanwhile, in a lab in Tokyo, Dr. Emily Chen was working with a team of Quilnar scientists. They were trying to solve big problems like cleaning up the oceans and stopping global warming. The Quilnar's big brains and human creativity made a great team. "I think we've got it," Dr. Chen shouted one day. They had invented a machine that could eat plastic in the ocean and turn it into clean fuel. Humans and Quilnar danced around the lab, their tentacles and arms waving happily. Out in space, things were changing too. Captain Maria Rodriguez, who once led underwater missions on Earth, was now the captain of a big spaceship. Her crew was a mix of humans and aliens from many planets. They flew around the galaxy, exploring new worlds and helping people in trouble. Once, they saved a whole planet from a giant space tornado. The aliens there were so happy, they threw a party that lasted a week. Back on Earth, in the African savannah, old Kabeki was still teaching. But now, he taught both human and alien children how to track animals and respect nature. The alien kids were amazed by Earth's animals. They had never seen anything like elephants or giraffes before. One day, a little Vexeri shapeshifter got excited and turned into a small elephant. Quebecy laughed so hard, tears came to his eyes. "In all my years," he said, "I never thought I'd see that." Even sports were different now. The Olympics had become the Galactic Games. Humans competed with aliens in all kinds of events. There was regular swimming, and also lava swimming for aliens from very hot planets. Humans were the best at running, but aliens won all the flying races. Of course, not everything was perfect. Sometimes humans and aliens still argued or didn't understand each other. But now, instead of fighting, they would talk and try to work things out. One day, there was a big ceremony at the United Nations. Leaders from Earth and all the alien worlds gathered to sign a new agreement. They were creating the Galactic Union, a group that would help all planets work together. As the human president signed the paper, she smiled at the alien leaders. "5 years ago, we thought we were alone in the universe," she said. "We were afraid of each other. Now, look at us. We're not just friends. We're family." The Zorthak leader, who once wanted to destroy Earth, nodded his big, scaly head. "Humans taught us that being tough isn't just about fighting," he growled. "It's about being brave enough to make peace." The Quilnar leader's brain glowed with happiness. "And humans showed us that intelligence isn't just about science," he said. "It's about understanding others." The Vexeri leader, who kept changing colors with excitement, spoke last. "Humans are the most surprising species we've ever met," she said. "You've changed the whole galaxy for the better." As the ceremony ended, fireworks exploded in the sky. But they weren't just over Earth. On every planet in the Galactic Union, people were celebrating. The stars didn't seem far away anymore. They were full of new friends and new adventures. Zara and Blurp watched the fireworks from their school playground. "What do you want to do when we grow up?" Zara asked her alien friend. Blurp's antenna spun in circles. "Let's be space explorers," he said. "We'll discover new worlds." Zara grinned. "Sounds perfect," she said. And as they watched the colorful lights in the sky, both of them knew that the future was going to be amazing.